Season 3 is the Owl House's most important season, along with its most important episodes. With these, it'll probably go down in history as a classic, one of the best. If you thought Season 2 went by fast, this season blitzes by. It completely speeds things up to an umph degree, because it's a season with 3 episodes that are like 50 minutes long, so that's a plus, but 3 episodes. God, I hate companies sometimes. The first episode could have been an entire season on its own. It was about the gang in the middle of the human realm trying to get back on their feet and make a portal. But at the same time, Hunter and Luz have their own problems. They both feel worthless for the truths that had been revealed to them the season prior. Hunter found out he's just a clone basically made to do Belos' bidding, and Luz is dealing with the fact that she, in some retroactive way, helped Philip become Belos and enact his plan, and because of that, and her mother, she has decided to stay in the human realm. I say it could have taken a full season because so much downtime has passed by, we don't get to see any of the downtime. They go to school in the human realm. That's like 5 episodes on its own filled with wacky adventures. Hunter and Gus built a budding friendship over their world's geeky version of Star Trek, and I would have loved to see more of Luz and Amity, of them trying to have fun while the guilt that she causes is eating her alive. We also found out the truth about Philip, and as I sort of theorized in my season 2 video, he is from the Salem Witch Trials era of life. He and his brother were both trained to be witch hunters, but his brother ended up falling in love with one, Ida's grandmother. But, I say but a lot, Philip couldn't understand. He thought the witch had cursed him into doing this, so he killed his brother to release him of the curse. The twisted hurdles of denial you had to go through to make sense of this in your head is wild. Belos at this point where we meet him is beyond helping. He's too far gone, and the irony isn't lost that someone who puts humans on a pedestal is doing this to become a hero in the human realm is the one who looks most like a monster out of everything we've seen in this show, and he just won't go away. He has taken a hold of Hunter and is using his body to locate the Titan blood in the human realm. And once again, Luz has inadvertently in some way helped out Belos. Now the portal is sitting right in front of him. He's ready to go in, and there's an all-out battle that happens. Everyone tries to stop him, including Flapjack, and that's when the biggest death in the show happens. Belos, controlling Hunter, has killed Flapjack, the first friend Hunter was ever able to make. Someone who he tried to keep safe from Belos for the longest, but it turns out it was his hands that caused him the most harm. Another bit of irony to happen in this show. Belos won. He threw Hunter's body to the side and escaped back to the demon realm, and the gang was left with a decision to make. Do they go back or do they stay? Luz was ready to stay, but her mother doesn't want her to give up on herself. I love Luz's mom, of all honesty. I think at this point, Luz's mom is a very interesting character. To finally bring her from the background to the forefront and make her an important character, from having her being seen as antagonistic for the longest time to now, it's seeming like she's just someone caring about her own kid, as most parents would be. It's something interesting, something memorable. It's like the Benson from Regular Show thing, where a lot of people who grew up with Regular Show are now saying, man, I hated Benson as a kid, but looking back at it now, dude, he should have fired Mordecai and Rigby from the first episode. They put this poor boss through it. The same things can be said for Luz's mom, and probably will be said later on if some people still don't like her. I'm pretty sure things have changed now after she explained her reasonings for stuff. I feel like before we got to know her, there was a lot of hate going around about her because she wanted Luz to stay with her and for her to have a normal life. In reality, that just makes sense that a parent wouldn't want their child in a strange place where they could die or get taken advantage of at any moment. They wrote her very well, in my opinion. She wasn't even antagonistic towards the kids when they all appeared at her doorstep. She instantly took them in and helped them get their morale back up. And after seeing how much this means to Luz and how much she has grown from these adventures, she's not gonna let Luz give up, especially while she's at her lowest. Once they're finally back in the demon realm, everything has changed. Everything they once held dear to them, like the Owl House, is destroyed, abandoned. The setting is desolate. Nobody anywhere near them until this wave of magic appears throughout the entire city, giving it a setting of a toyland that's appeared here out of nowhere, and then We see the Collector running around with King and stopping what we assume to be Ida's curse form. Everything just has this creepy funhouse vibe, because it turns out he has turned most of the citizens into dolls that are only active when he powers them on. I said in the second season review that the Collector was childlike. No, I take that back. He's just a full-blown child who seemingly only cares if he has fun. The main mission now is to somehow stop the Collector and free everyone. But there's one major problem with that. How's somebody supposed to stop a god? The only person who was ever able to do that is King's father, a full-grown Titan with full-grown Titan abilities. Nobody possesses that kind of power now. King's just he's like 2 or 3, he acts 2 or 3 anyways. Hunter and Luz, while formulating a plan, are still dealing with their problems. And now it's even worse because Willow is at her wits' end as well. They all think they have to put on this brave face and be strong for the others, when in reality, they are all equals and it's okay to be weak in front of each other. Just know you're not alone and your friends and family would accept you no matter what or who you are, for the most part. And it was at that moment that Luz was able to awaken her talisman, and Hunter was able to use magic just as strong as he had when he was the Golden Guard. This came just in time, because now, it's the finale, baby. Bellows, for the whole time in this world, was weak and meandering around for a body, but no body was powerful enough to hold all of his essence. So he started body hopping until he made it to the Collector's palace, where he then took over Rain's doll body and manipulated the Collector again to go after Luz, King, and Ida. I can't believe they fell for Bellows' words again without realizing it. Now, no one is stopping Bellows from doing something that obviously no one has thought of before in any show at all. He's becoming a Titan. He is trying to infuse himself with the Titan heart. Let's switch things up and talk about the Collector for a bit. If there's one thing this season does really well, it's show how lonely the Collector is. We get his backstory from being up there with the rest of the gods to being sent down to the demon realm to hang out with the Titans. And while he's playing with them, one by one, each god kills the Titan. They wipe them out completely because they don't want anything that powerful hanging around. And the Collector was blamed for it. He didn't actually do it. He was blamed for it and sealed away for nothing. Now that they're out, they just want to play some more and finally have a friend. But the friends keep turning on them and manipulating them. Why is that? First Bellows and even King and Luz were doing similar things at the end of season 2 to get what they want. And they're tired of it. It gets to the point where they bring it up to Luz, Ida, and King, and it turns out they have no sense of morality or mortality. They do not know right from wrong, as well as not understanding the concept of death. But oh man, did they ever learn it a few minutes later, where Luz fucking died. She died stopping Bellows' weird molding decay powers from touching the Collector, but in turn, she got touched. And that is when they finally understood that no matter how powerful they are, they cannot bring back the dead. Luz's words finally got to them, and they now understand. The Collector's a good guy now, yay! I don't think we need to fully go over a third fight for Bellows, the second one for this season, so just know things were one-sided until Luz showed back up with Titan powers looking really cool and really sick with the powers that King's father gave her. I thought this was so sick. And then they quickly dealt with Bellows. That was the end. That's it. There's no more Bellows. It's all over now. And the episode is quickly about to end, so let's show a little epilogue of them graduating from high school and her deciding what college she's gonna go to. And what major is she gonna take? She says she's gonna take all of them. Haha, how quirky, Luz, that's so you. And the series is now over. Did it sound like I might have went over that ending very quickly? Yes? Because that's what it felt like to me. This episode, no, this entire season went by very quickly for me. I'm very happy we got an ending, and kinda like I said at the end of the F is for Family retro, since this was rushed and the show wasn't going to be renewed again, instead of cramming as much as possible in the ending, they opted to finish the story that was being told and have Luz's character be the main one that is represented of coming full circle by the end. I loved the ending. I really did. Do not get me wrong and make it seem like I didn't love this ending, but This last episode left character stories unfinished, assumingly because it might have potential of getting renewed many years later down the line. It feels like there was a lot left on the table, specifically when it came to Hunter. Not to say that I wanted this to happen to him or anything, I know I speculated it might, but it felt like the story was leading towards maybe he becomes human, or maybe he sacrifices himself at the end to save everyone, which would have made it a good character beat for everyone to go through, in my opinion, of course. And I also think that might have been a better thing to impact the collector if someone just outright died instead of them being brought back to life a couple of minutes later. But this all boils down to it ending too soon, which sucks that this happens more than the opposite does. This goes into the same plot that Infinity Train and Final Space does, where it was an instant classic from start to end and the company didn't see it because maybe it targeted the wrong audience or something, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and do this outro before I get too fucking upset. So that's it. It's over. The Owl House is officially done, and I'm not sure how to feel about this. I just watched this series finale. I loved it from start to finish. It did feel a little rushed to me, but it's a great send-off nonetheless. I just wanted to see everybody happy, and I did see everybody happy. And what more could I want from this show that got terribly canceled early on in its run? It definitely had more legs in it. I could have saw this season itself be so much longer. The first episode itself is a good solid 5 or 6 episodes. This is the last new thing we're going to see from these guys. For a while at least, unless Disney does something else with them. I do think Disney dropped the ball by canceling this. This might not have been their most successful show ever, but it was generational. I think this was a classic show. I'd love to see another story about Dana, especially with this being her first run at doing her own show. I'd love to see her have another crack at it. You know, maybe Disney will give her something else. Maybe she'd find another place like a Max, you know, maybe Max will want something to do with her, you know? And I'd want her to have another great show. I think she's capable of doing another one. We've seen a good few shows end on this channel so far. We've seen Close Enough finish now, we've seen Primal finish now, and now we've seen The Owl House. Like I said earlier, I just don't know how to feel now. I have this kind of empty feeling in me, kind of like when you end a show and you're like, I don't know, I'm never gonna see these guys again. I'm so upset by this. This is such a good show. I'm so upset by this. But let me quit rambling and finish this outro for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching me witness The Owl House for the first time. This has been one of my favorite things to do on this channel, and How to Do Magic still gets views to this day, so I think I want to do a redone version of that, and maybe do more stuff after the How to Magic thing. I really want to go back to that, especially now that this is finished. I think that would be fun to do. But yeah, with that being said, this is it. Give your opinions on the Owl House in the comments down below, and I'll get back to this as soon as I can. Yeah, it's over.